Just hours after Israel launched new strikes inside Iran, the situation across the Middle East is becoming even more intense. And right now, military analysts are warning that Iran's response could change the entire direction of this conflict. As I'm following the latest developments, new reports suggest Iran is preparing a much larger retaliation than what we've already seen. Earlier today, Iranian military officials announced that their response to the Israeli strikes would continue, and that their forces are ready for what they described as a long confrontation. This statement alone has raised serious concern among international observers. Because if Iran continues launching missile and drone attacks, and Israel continues responding with airstrikes, the conflict could quickly spiral into something far bigger. Let's break down what's happening. After the latest Israeli airstrikes targeted multiple locations linked to Iranian military operations, Iranian defense systems were placed on high alert across the country. Military bases, missile launch sites, and air defense units have reportedly been mobilized in several regions. At the same time, Iran's regional allies are also becoming more active. In Lebanon, Hezbollah fighters have launched additional rockets toward northern Israel. These attacks are smaller than the missile strikes coming from Iran itself, but they open another dangerous front in the conflict. And when multiple fronts open at the same time, military strategists say it becomes much harder to control escalation. Meanwhile, Israeli forces are also preparing for the possibility of further retaliation. Air defense systems across Israel remain fully active, with military officials warning citizens to stay alert in case of additional missile launches. For people watching from the United States, the situation is especially important because American forces are stationed across several countries in the region. U.S. military bases in the Middle East are closely monitoring the situation, and additional security measures have already been reported. The United States government has also been urging restraint, while at the same time supporting Israel's right to defend itself. But despite those diplomatic messages, the reality on the ground remains extremely tense. And here's why many analysts are concerned. When two major regional powers enter direct military confrontation, there is always the risk that other countries or armed groups could become involved. If that happens, the conflict could expand far beyond the current battlefield. Another factor the world is watching closely is the global economy. The Middle East is responsible for a large portion of the world's oil production. When instability grows in this region, energy markets tend to react quickly. In fact, some analysts are already warning that prolonged conflict could push oil prices higher and affect global markets. But perhaps the biggest question right now is what Iran does next. Will the country continue limited retaliation, or will it launch a much larger operation targeting Israeli infrastructure or military assets? And if that happens, how will Israel respond? Those answers could determine whether this conflict slows down or becomes one of the most significant wars the region has seen in years. For now, both sides appear to be preparing for continued confrontation. Military forces remain on alert, regional tensions are rising, and the international community is closely watching every development. I'll continue bringing you the latest updates as this situation evolves. If you want to stay informed about the Iran-Israel conflict and other major global developments, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next major update could arrive at any moment.